Good morning, everybody. Cindy here with Pathways Homestead. And Gary and I are doing chores this morning, and then we're going to pick garden. So we're just going to kind of take you along a little bit and show you part of our day. Gertrude is eating a little bit of feed now. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. She still would rather have her bottle. It is an absolutely beautiful morning today on the homestead, and Tatanka is out there grazing. She's up and going, doing good, and all the animals seem to be doing really good this morning. We had a horrible windstorm last night, and it just seems crazy for the calm after the storm. Here comes Gary with feed for the chickens. Very important to go slow. Like you're moving it, let the chicks know that you're moving it so that they don't get hung up in it. Most times they're ready for the new grass. On these chicken tractors, they're ready for that new grass and they'll move, but sometimes they won't, and you've got to really be careful.
Cornish crosses aren't the smartest chickens ever. Sometimes I think, oh, there's new stuff at the front, wonder what's at the back, where I just was for the last day.
So how are your chickens doing, Gary?
Good. You can see that they're growing. They're about 6 weeks old. And they're getting pretty good size already. Some people butcher between 6 and 8 weeks old. It's pretty common to butcher between 8 and 10. We like to butcher between 10 and 12. But so they're halfway there, a little better than halfway there. So they're doing good. We're getting them. They're putting on a lot of weight. They're eating a lot of feed. They're doing good. Since we've got them in the tractors, we haven't lost any birds. We just had that one incident where we had a cold snap one night and they piled up and we lost a few in the brooder. But other than that, we haven't really lost any birds. So they're doing good. We're pretty happy with these that we ordered from Freedom Ranger Hatchery in Pennsylvania. We're pretty happy with these. They're growing good. They pretty good survival rate. They've done really good. So look at that one. He's nipping off the green ends of the grass. That one found some bindweed. They're going after that. Here, I'm gonna get my feed.
So I was telling about the windstorm. Did you find any damage this morning?
No.
Well, we had a really bad windstorm last night.
Did we?
Yeah, my phone went off with that warning thing.
It's the Flint Hills. We always have windstorms.
We were supposed to evacuate the trail house because there were 65-mile-an-hour winds.
Okay.
Yeah, but I thought we're safer in than leaving.
Just a nice breeze.
Yeah. chickens are eating quite a bit of feed right now, aren't they?
Yeah. I feed about 3 5-gallon buckets of feed a day to just these broilers. I feed them. So that's probably about 70 pounds of feed a day. 60 pounds of feed a day, I guess, maybe.
For 166 birds.
They're eating not quite that. They're probably, today's going to be the first day it's 3, I guess. Yesterday it was maybe a little over 2, or it was just 2.
So it's really important to count the cost and remember that it's going to cost you money, especially for these birds. It's hard to source. They need so much that it's hard to source it. Your laying hens, you know, if you have a small family, you can pretty much survive. They can survive on what they can free range and what you can feed them in scraps.
Yeah, broilers aren't that way. You've got to feed them a lot of feed. If you had to buy, if you were buying all your feed sacked from box store, whatever, you'd have a hard time justifying paying for all that on these.
Yes.
We grind ours. We buy basically grains, and we buy grains and other things and some additives, and then we've got a friend with a grinder mixer, and we grind it all, and it cuts our feed costs way more than in half. Whereas if I was to go buy broiler feed at a box store in a sack, I would pay $15 a bag, $30 a hundred. Right now I've got less than $10 a hundred in it. Or that's the cost of it. It's less than $10 a hundred. So yeah, you've got to figure out ways to reduce your feed costs. And you can buy some of the grains already ground and then mix it yourself and keep the price down like that. If you bought soybean meal and chopped corn and then an additive, you could keep your feed way down. We also have several feed stores around here that will mix in bulk, sell feed mixed in bulk for you, and it cuts your price almost in half if you were buying it at a box store. If you were buying it from them, it's not quite half, but it definitely cuts it way down. You can buy it. You have to have some kind of container to haul it in, but you can buy it bulk from a lot of places around here. We've got a local feed store here, Ranchland Feed, and he custom mixes feed, and it has a good price on his bulk feed. And that's what I encourage people around here, if they're gonna feed out animals, pigs or chickens, that I encourage them to go see him about getting a bulk feed from him at Ranchland Feed. And so yeah, this part of the game, is figuring out how to put less money into it.
So here on the homestead, we provide 100% of our meat, except for if we want specialty meats. Occasionally we'll have a brat or a hot dog.
Or some shrimp.
Or some shrimp. We do occasionally, especially around the holidays, we'll buy some shrimp. Miss Maple is out on patrol today. Earlier, Marshall had a little rat he was playing with, a field mouse he was playing with up in the backyard. Miss Maple's checking everything out, seeing if she can find her mouse today. Alright, so here I am out in the garden, and I have to do a shout out thank you to Charlie, our water guy, for working so hard on getting the water issues fixed. And it turned out it was affecting more than us. But so he's gotten those, I think, ironed out. At least we are getting lots and lots of water, so that's good, and we're able to take care of some things. So thank you, Charlie, and I'm gonna get busy and get picking and let you see. We're gonna start out in the big garden today. I did pick a lot of the green peppers the other day, so we're not gonna pick very many green peppers, and hopefully the wind isn't too bad. I'm gonna start up here in the top of the garden with tomatoes, and we'll get those picked. One of my favorite tomatoes to grow is these large red cherries. They are so prolific, and they are doing fabulous. So they do well in the heat and the drought, and they do well just anywhere you want to put them, in poor ground even. So they're doing really good, and whenever it gets closer to frost, I'll even pull the green ones, and they're my favorite ones to pickle because they're bite size whenever I make green tomato pickles. These are my Anaheim chili peppers, and they're doing pretty good, producing pretty well. And then my Amish paste tomatoes, and I'll get them harvested. Here is our harvest from the big garden today. Tomatoes, cantaloupe, green beans, broccoli, okra. So we've got that flat of tomatoes. Oh, and a cantaloupe. And another half 5-gallon bucket of tomatoes. So we've got quite a bit of tomatoes today. Some green beans. We'll have to come back and pick the chili pekins later. Chili pekins are over there and there. We'll have to come back and pick them later. Gary's gonna feed the chickens some collards. We've not been real crazy about the collards, but they've been a good source of feed for the chickens.